Throughout history, armies have used a wide range of vehicles in warfare, from horses and chariots to tanks and aircraft. While many of these vehicles have been similar to each other in terms of their design and capabilities, some stand out as truly unique. These vehicles have often been designed for specific purposes, such as clearing minefields, providing cover for infantry, or carrying out reconnaissance missions. The most unique war vehicles have captured the imagination of military enthusiasts and historians alike, and they continue to fascinate people to this day. With that being said, let's start the countdown. Number 8, the Kugel Panzer. This was a one-man tank developed by the Germans during World War II. It was also known as the ball tank or sphere tank due to its spherical body shape. The Kugel Panzer had a unique design, which made it unlike any other tank of the time. The body of the tank was made of a single piece of steel that was only 5 mm thick. It was formed into a hollow sphere with a diameter of approximately 1.4 meters, 4.6 feet. The tank had no visible opening for the driver to enter or exit, and it is believed that the driver would have to climb in through the turret. The Kugel Panzer was armed with a single machine gun mounted on top of the tank. The machine gun was operated by the driver, who had to use a periscope to aim and fire the weapon. The tank was also equipped with a smoke grenade launcher for self-defense. The tank's design provided it with a unique advantage. Due to its spherical shape, it could move in any direction, making it very agile and difficult to hit. Additionally, its thick steel body made it resistant to small arms fire and shrapnel. However, the Kugel Panzer had some serious limitations. Its thin steel body made it vulnerable to direct hits from larger weapons, such as anti-tank guns or artillery. The tank also had no treads, and instead relied on 3 large wheels for movement. This limited its ability to traverse difficult terrain. Despite its unusual design, the Kugel Panzer was never mass-produced or used in combat. Only one prototype is known to exist, and it is on display at the Kubinka Tank Museum in Russia. Number 7, the Landkreuzer P-1000 Rata. This was a proposed super-heavy tank designed by Germany during World War II. It was intended to be the largest and most powerful tank ever built, with a weight of over 1,000 tons and a length of 35 meters, 114 feet. The Rat was designed to be heavily armored, with a thickness of up to 250 mm. It was armed with 2 280 mm naval guns, 4 128 mm anti-aircraft guns, and multiple machine guns. It was also designed to carry up to 6 smaller tanks, which could be launched from the Rat's hull. The Rat was so large that it could not be transported by rail or road, and would have had to be assembled on site. It was designed to be powered by 2 MAN V12 Z32/44 diesel engines, each with an output of 2,400 horsepower. Despite its impressive specifications, the Rat was never built. There were several reasons for this. First, the sheer size and weight of the Rat made it impractical to produce and transport. Second, Germany was already facing significant resource shortages, and building such a massive tank would have required a significant amount of resources that the German war machine simply did not have. Finally, the German High Command realized that the Rat would be a prime target for enemy forces, and its vulnerability to air attacks would have made it a liability on the battlefield. While the Rat was never built, it remains a fascinating example of the extremes to which military technology can be pushed in times of war. Number 6, the Flying Jeep. This was a prototype aircraft developed by the United States during World War II. The idea behind the Flying Jeep was to create a lightweight aircraft that could be transported by glider and then assembled on the ground, allowing troops to quickly and easily transport vehicles across enemy lines. The Flying Jeep consisted of a standard Willys MB Jeep that was modified to be a flying vehicle. The vehicle was fitted with a wing and tail assembly that could be attached or detached from the Jeep in about 30 minutes. The wings were made of wood and fabric, and the tail assembly was made of metal. The Flying Jeep had a range of approximately 300 miles and could fly at a speed of up to 100 miles per hour. It was powered by a 50-horsepower engine and had a maximum altitude of 15,000 feet. The aircraft was designed to be flown by a pilot and a co-pilot, and could carry up to 4 passengers or cargo in the back. The Flying Jeep was tested extensively during the war, but it was never put into production. One of the main reasons for this was that the gliders used to transport the flying jeeps were vulnerable to enemy fire, and the process of assembling the aircraft on the ground was time-consuming and difficult. Additionally, the flying jeep was not as practical as other vehicles, such as the C-47 transport plane, which could carry much larger loads and was easier to use. Today, the flying jeep is considered a curiosity and a historical oddity. Only a few prototypes were ever built, and they are now on display in museums around the world. However, the idea of a flying vehicle that can be easily transported and assembled on the ground remains an intriguing concept that continues to inspire designers and engineers. Number 5, the M2 Alligator. This was an amphibious vehicle developed by the United States during World War II. It was designed to transport troops and supplies across water and on land, and was used extensively during the war in the Pacific. The Alligator had a unique design, with a flat-bottomed hull that allowed it to travel through shallow water and over sandbars. The vehicle was propelled by 2 propellers, which were mounted on the back of the hull. The Alligator was also equipped with a steering wheel, which allowed it to be maneuvered on land. The Alligator could carry up to 60 troops or 5 tons of cargo, and was armed with a .50 caliber machine gun for self-defense. It had a top speed of 20 miles per hour on land and 7 miles per hour in water. One of the most impressive features of the Alligator was its ability to transition between land and water. When entering the water, the driver would lower the propellers and steer the vehicle using the rudder. When coming back on land, the driver would raise the propellers and use the steering wheel to control the vehicle. The Alligator was used extensively during the war in the Pacific, where it was used to transport troops and supplies across shallow waterways and beaches. It was also used in amphibious assaults, where it played a critical role in the initial stages of the invasion. Despite its usefulness, the Alligator had some limitations. Its flat-bottomed hull made it vulnerable to rough seas and strong currents, and its slow speed made it an easy target for enemy fire. Additionally, the Alligator was not well suited for deep water operations, as it was designed for shallow waterways and beaches. Today, the M2 Alligator is considered a unique and fascinating piece of military technology. While it was eventually replaced by more advanced amphibious vehicles, it played a critical role in the Allied victory in the Pacific, and remains a symbol of American ingenuity and innovation. Number 4, the Sherman crab. This was a variant of the M4 Sherman tank that was used by the Allies during World War II. It was designed to clear mines and other obstacles on the battlefield, and played a critical role in the Normandy landings and other Allied operations. The Sherman crab was equipped with a large flail system that was mounted on the front of the tank. The flail consisted of a series of weighted chains that were attached to a rotating drum, which was driven by the tank's engine. As the drum rotated, the chains struck the ground, detonating any mines or other explosives that were in the tank's path. The Sherman crab also had additional armor on the front of the tank, which protected the crew from the blast of any mines that were detonated. The tank was operated by a crew of 5, including a driver, a commander, a gunner, a loader, and a flail operator. The Sherman crab was used extensively during the Normandy landings, where it was used to clear a path for Allied troops and vehicles through the heavily fortified beaches. It was also used in other Allied operations, including the battles of Cannes and Falaise. While the Sherman crab was effective at clearing mines and other obstacles, it had some limitations. The flail system was vulnerable to enemy fire, and the tank was slow and cumbersome on the battlefield. Additionally, the noise and vibration from the flail system made it difficult for the crew to communicate with each other. Today, the Sherman crab is considered a fascinating piece of military technology that played a critical role in the Allied victory in World War II. While it was eventually replaced by more advanced mine-clearing vehicles, it remains a symbol of the ingenuity and resourcefulness of the Allied forces in the face of daunting challenges. Number 3, the Vespa 150 Tap. This was a unique version of the popular Italian scooter that was used by the French military during the Algerian War of Independence. It was designed as a lightweight and mobile anti-tank vehicle that could be easily transported to remote locations and deployed quickly on the battlefield. The Vespa 150 Tap was built in France by the Atelier de Construction de Motocycle et Automobile, ACMA company, which had licensed the design from the Italian manufacturer Piaggio. The scooter was modified to carry a 75mm recoilless rifle, which was mounted on a specially designed bracket on the front of the vehicle. The recoilless rifle was fired from the driver's position and was capable of firing a variety of ammunition types, including high-explosive anti-tank HEAT rounds and high-explosive fragmentation HEF rounds. The Vespa 150 TAP also had additional ammunition storage in the form of metal canisters that were mounted on the sides of the scooter. Despite its small size and unconventional design, the Vespa 150 TAP was an effective weapon on the battlefield. Its lightweight and mobility made it ideal for hit-and-run tactics, and its small size made it difficult for enemy forces to target. The recoilless rifle was also powerful enough to take out enemy tanks and other armored vehicles. The Vespa 150 TAP saw extensive use during the Algerian War of Independence, where it was used by French paratroopers and other special forces units. It was also used by other militaries around the world, including in Vietnam and by the Israeli Defense Forces. Today, the Vespa 150 TAP is considered a unique and fascinating piece of military technology. While it was eventually replaced by more advanced anti-tank vehicles, it remains a symbol of the ingenuity and resourcefulness of military engineers and designers in the face of challenging circumstances. Number 2, the T-55 Progrev-T. This was a Soviet-era anti-mine device that was designed to clear mines and other explosive devices from the seabed. It was a gas-dynamic trawler that used high-pressure water jets to create a high-speed water flow that could clear a path through minefields. The T-55 Progrev-T was based on the chassis of the T-55 tank, which was a widely used Soviet tank during the Cold War. The tank's turret was removed and replaced with a large, cylindrical device that housed the high-pressure water jets. The device was connected to a system of hoses and pumps that drew seawater from the surrounding area and expelled it at high speed through the water jets. The T-55 Progrev-T was operated by a crew of 3, including a driver, a commander, and a technician who operated the gas-dynamic trawler system. The device was controlled from a control panel inside the tank, and the operator could adjust the water pressure and flow rate to optimize the performance of the trawler. The T-55 Progrev-T was effective at clearing mines and other explosive devices from the seabed. Its high-speed water flow could move mines and other obstacles out of the way, and the pressure of the water could also trigger mines and cause them to detonate safely. The device was also relatively fast and maneuverable, which made it difficult for enemy forces to target. The T-55 Progrev-T saw extensive use during the Cold War, particularly by Soviet and Warsaw Pact navies. It was used to clear mines in the Baltic Sea, the Black Sea, and other areas where minefields were a significant threat. While it was eventually replaced by more advanced mine-clearing devices, it remains a symbol of the innovation and engineering prowess of the Soviet military during the Cold War. Now, number 1, the Sims motor war car. This was a prototype armored vehicle designed by British engineer Frederick Sims in the early 20th century. It was one of the earliest examples of an armored vehicle designed specifically for military use, and it played a significant role in the development of modern military technology. The Sims motor war car was built on the chassis of a Daimler touring car, which was modified to accommodate a large armored body and a variety of weapons. The body of the vehicle was constructed from steel plate, which was thick enough to protect the crew from small arms fire and other types of attacks. The Sims motor war car was armed with a variety of weapons, including machine guns and cannons. It also had a number of other features designed to make it more effective on the battlefield, such as a searchlight for nighttime operations and a detachable platform that could be used to carry troops or equipment. While the Sims motor war car was never used in combat, it played a significant role in the development of modern armored vehicles. Its design and construction techniques were studied by military engineers around the world, and many of its features were incorporated into later designs of armored vehicles. Today, the Sims motor war car is considered a significant piece of military history. While it may not have seen combat, it was an important step in the development of modern military technology, and it paved the way for the development of the armored vehicles that are used by militaries around the world today. In conclusion, the most unique war vehicles are a testament to the creativity and innovation of military engineers and designers. These vehicles have played a significant role in military history, from providing cover for ground troops to clearing minefields and striking fear into the hearts of enemy soldiers. While some of these vehicles may seem strange or even comical in hindsight, they represent important steps in the evolution of military technology. They have inspired new generations of inventors and engineers, and their influence can be seen in the designs of modern military vehicles. With that, our video comes to an end. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Have a good day!